Hey everybody, welcome back to the studio. This is that video where we discuss the schedule. Thanks for being patient and waiting for this video. I know I mentioned I was going to be out soon, and you guys have been waiting for a long time without really any inkling as to kind of where we are from start to finish. People are always asking, is there any release date? There is still not a release date, but there is a projected time of release, yes. Um, I had to kind of get there in my own head and figure out exactly where I was, because the last time that I really had a decent schedule for this project was back when I was in Oklahoma, and it was kind of really weird and confusing schedule that I've seen used a lot in game development, but doesn't really tell you much because it just kind of lists a bunch of departments, and you kind of see, you know, rows light up where things are being worked on, but it doesn't really give you the ability to look at it at first glance and know exactly like how close you are to being done. So I took some time off from all of this a couple of weeks ago to start really thinking about how to quantify what's left to be done and get it on a readable schedule that I can actually use to know how I'm doing as I go. That pattern that I was looking for turned out to be a burn down chart. I actually kind of combined what I had before with a burn down chart pattern. And what that means is that I can just like list the tasks in a linear fashion. Once this task is done, it's gone. Once that task is done, it's gone. If I return to, sound design or whatever, then I'm going to come back down here and do more sound design. That's going to be a separate task. What that means is that I create a burn down pattern that I can watch go down as I kind of move along. That also allows me to create milestones. So now I have milestones. So this entire period here is all in creating backgrounds, and this milestone is background photos complete. So that's this block. There are some other tasks going on kind of in the background, but that's the main thing. The next big block is character puppets, and I'm trying to reach character puppets complete. And that has to do with finishing the sculpts, getting a couple more things sculpted, fixed up, getting the casting or the molding done and the casting, and the puppets painted and detailed. So this is all about puppet creation. And then we reach milestone, character puppets complete. Then we have a very long, this is a big chunk, and this is all about animation and sprite cleanup and import. So this is all a period of getting the puppets onto the stop motion stage and shooting the actual stop motion shots that will be used, and then using After Effects to chroma key them into sprites, and then using Photoshop to kind of chop them down and get them into the game engine. So there's a lot of animation going on here and a lot of sprite work. And that leads us to character animation complete. Then we have a big block that is, we're talking wiring up rooms. We've got a lot of wiring up rooms, inventory and object work, room effects and animation, graphics cleanup, GUI work, GUI, the graphic user interface for those who aren't like steeped in video game and software development terms. And then, hold on, I love the soundtrack, but I just can't do this song. Okay, anyway, so, and then we've got a little bit of cutscene work. This is kind of preliminary cutscene work to add to what I've already done to get me started on the next milestone. But that block reaches the next milestone, and the next milestone is alpha. So at that point, we reach alpha. And alpha means that the game it gets into the hands of a small group of testers that I have a lot of trust in, that I know are going to forgive, a lot of weird stuff, incomplete, stuff in the game, but that will be able to help me, make sure that things work as I get the game closer and closer to beta and work out, the really serious kinks. The idea with alpha, again, if you're not familiar with like exactly what that term means, it's usually used to mean the point at which the product is feature complete. So you can get from the beginning to the end. It's in there. At that point, you're just fixing bugs. Beta is about bug fixing. Beta usually is not about adding to the game. So alpha should be like the game is finished, but we're still, working out a lot of the bugs and maybe adding in some cosmetic things. I will definitely have some cosmetic things going on during the beta process, or during, the alpha process, the alpha test process. I will be finishing some cutscene stuff. That's going to be stuff that I'm doing while the testers are working. I'm also going to be polishing up some of the dialogue and recording dialogue, so the alpha testers are going to be working probably without recorded dialogue. Or at least for a lot of it. But anyway, there's a big chunk of alpha time here, and then there's a chunk of beta time. And then, so the next milestone, of course, is we reach beta. And then at that point, we go into the beta test, and you guys have it in your hands. And that milestone is almost exactly 1 year from now. So at the very end of November, in other words, this time next year, you guys will have the beta in your hands if we can stick to this schedule. Then that's where we're going to be. So, in the meantime, you're about to probably be witness to a lot of really cool things, especially when we get into the character puppets creation, which is around February. That's going to be really fun. Until then, I'm going to be finishing up tons of background stuff. I still have a lot to go there, especially as I've mentioned before in some of the other videos, the cave. The software I'm using, by the way, is it's not actually Excel, it's Google Sheets, or Google, whatever the Google Docs version is. Is it Sheets? I don't know. There's so many different versions of this. There's Calc, there's Numbers, and yes, Google is Sheets. Anyway, that's what I use to do the schedule part. I also have another piece of software that's really incredible, and it's called Hack and Plan. It's kind of Trello, if you've heard of Trello, for kind of organizing projects. Hack and Plan is like Trello, but specifically aimed at game development. It has a lot of the stuff already kind of set up that you would already need for game development, and it doesn't have anything that you wouldn't need. So it's like really, really simple, like ridiculously simple. So it's very, very fast to set up, and you can just get in there with your milestones. Milestones here. I've got my main milestone, got a whole bunch of tasks, and I can go into any one of these tasks, and then I have subtasks, and that's what really lets me get in there. See, each one of these tasks on this board, for instance, corresponds to some like major project. Like this is finish the lower deck that I'm working on right now. Or I'm sorry, the upper deck that I'm working on right now, which is this one. And then this would be the lower deck, and like this one would be rocket compositing. All of these, but they're all tied to, associated to a milestone, which is this one, all background plates. So if we go in here and we look at these tasks, they actually correspond to these tasks. So I can look here and say, oh, build photo mountain / bridge. Cool. There it is, right there. Build photo, photograph mountain / bridge. So then I can go into, like this one, Unity Setup and Whiteboxing, which is one that actually goes all the way across this is something I'm kind of doing in the background. It's very light. It's just kind of light Unity work, but it's stuff that I'm kind of doing. And right now I've got like a few of these checked off. This lets me get into basically more detail that I can have here, but still corresponds to the schedule. So I can come in here and see that I've installed the new Adventure Creator 1.60. and started the new Jack Houston project. I also tested updated it to 1.60.3. So I've got updating under control. Updating is actually a breeze with Adventure Creator. It's really set up well to do, updating. And then I've got the first playable, one room. Jack moves around, animates with temp graphics using point and click. I've got that. It works great. Test to scale. I've got scaling, or test scaling. So he does that. He walks around the room. He gets smaller. He gets bigger. What I'm working on next is I'm going to put in a multi-layer room that has parallax and walk behind stuff, and the change room test to test out, changing the room to another room. This is all kind of behind the scenes or in the background stuff that I'm doing while I do modeling. The other big thing, though, that I'm doing today is, since it's Monday, I'm starting a whole new week, because each one of these columns is a week. So I'm starting a whole new week here, which is I actually took 2 weeks off from the photography and model stuff to kind of get myself. Oh my God, this song again! I just, Chris Remo, you're awesome, but what is up with that song? Anyway, okay, so maybe I just heard it too many times. Anyway, so these columns, these are the last 2 weeks, which just as well, because this was Thanksgiving and that was kind of crazy. But I was really kind of putting all my time into Unity, getting Unity kind of set up and making sure that I kind of set things up properly and understood what I was doing when I'm setting up a project and all of that and getting it started up. And now I'm getting back into a 2-week stint here to finish up the Derelict Upper Deck, which is a particular area of the game. And actually we can see that here, open up here, and we've got, okay, hallway with freezer and kitchen. That's basically a hallway with 2 different rooms that are kind of all in one room. And then we have the crew quarters, latrine, that's all checked off. Green is good. Captain's quarters is actually what's there right now. That's about to be finished. It's going to be finished very soon. It's the next thing I'm finishing. And then I've got just 2 more rooms to do, lab and engine room. So this gives me basically 1 week each to do those 2 rooms. I hope that gives you kind of an idea of how I'm coordinating my, that's not even the right word, how I'm organizing my work so that I can kind of predict, how much work I have to get done in any particular week, and then break it down to, what does that mean for each particular day. So any given day of any given week of any given month, I can just look at all of this and know exactly where I am, which is really cool. So hip hip hooray for burn down charts and for Hack and Plan. By the way, Hack and Plan is free. I'm actually on the trial for the paid version that's like a few bucks, literally a few bucks per month. I don't even know if I'll do the paid version because I have a team. I feel like it's better if you have a team, but in my case, I don't think it's really all that necessary. So yeah, for free, you can do that. And of course, Google Docs is free. So I'm a big fan of these tools and pretty excited. And anyway, that's what I'm doing. As you can see, I probably should just take a whole day to clean up my counter because it's a lot of modeling work. It's kind of, yeah. But anyway, that's what's going on right now, and I'm not quite ready to show you. I think I'm gonna get a couple more things checked off on my subtasks before I unveil the Unity engine, the Unity version of the engine. I did promise, I think, around the end of the month, and things are looking good for that. I do want to get some parallax in there, some walk behinds, and maybe room change. And then I'll have something a little bit more, I think, solid to show you guys. And then, so yeah, I'll be back soon with another video. I guess that'll probably be the wrap-up video for this month. Will be the Unity version of the engine unveiling. And this has been a bonus discussion about the schedule. Like I said, I don't really have a public release date or a date of any kind. What I have right now is still pretty flexible and preliminary. I just kind of put it together last week, and um, I don't see myself committing to a particular date until probably we reach alpha, or at least until we're working toward alpha here. Um, so it's going to be a while before I have a specific date. But as you can see, the goal is to definitely be in beta a year from now. So um, that is my report on how things are going, and I hope that you guys. I wish I could say it's coming out next month, but it's not there yet. Um, but I hope that it's at least exciting to kind of know. Oh yeah, okay, so there is some idea that it is like supposed to come out this decade. Awesome. Um, so thank you for following. Thank you for all the patience that you guys have shown this project, um, I'm very excited now that it's kind of back on track and going full speed ahead. And I hope to talk to you guys again really soon with the demo of the Unity version, which, by the way, is really slick and smooth and runs very fast. It's pretty awesome. Okay, thanks, guys.